I was, but the older I got, I kind of started getting away from it for a little bit and kind of going back and forth on it for a lot of my teenage and early young adult years. Um, but at the end of the day, especially now that I'm in my mid 20s, Jesus saved my life, and I mean that's really all there is to it. He saved my life. He gave me you know a way out from who I've always been and who I've not really been a fan of. And
Okay.
you know what? Why wouldn't you take that deal, right? It's basically like, hey, I'm gonna let you live in paradise, and all you got to do is try to keep the house standard and be my friend.
I mean, that I feel like that's a huge oversimplification, but yeah, basically, yeah,
That
yeah.
see, a lot of times I think people overcomplicate it.
Okay, so there is a I read the Bible pretty thoroughly, so I try to like understand what Christians think. Like there is a part of, and we'll go into the One Piece part. Okay, so there is a part in the Bible during the Old Testament when Moses is like during that situation with Exodus, where Moses is taking the Israelites into the Promised Land, right? There is a
Hmm.
part where they sin against God, and then they get bitten by poisonous snakes. Eventually they say, okay, we're really sorry. This is a real current thing with humanity. We're really sorry, God, please forgive us. We promise we'll be better. They won't. We'll promise we'll be better. So then they tell Moses to intercede for them. Moses does the interceding, and then God says, all right, Moses, create a bronze snake. Okay, well, I'm like, why would you do that? So he creates a bronze snake, and then he puts it there, and he tells them to look at the snake. But here's the problem. They looked at the snakes did not go away, but the poison stopped. And this is a real current theme where God says, I'm not going to take the problems away from your life, but I will make
Hmm.
sure that you will prosper. So long as you
Yeah,
focus on me, focus on that bronze snake, so long as you look at me, pick up your cross, and follow me, that's all you will have to do. Now, that's not to say you will not have any problems. You will have problems, but I will
exactly.
be there. That is not an easy thing to do. Like to say, oh yeah, I am
It's
willing to go through this suffering. Like,
it's not it's not, but the way I've always looked at it is you're going to as people you're gonna go through hardship no matter what. You're gonna suffer
okay,
no matter what. And the way I see it is, if you're gonna do that, why wouldn't you at least suffer down the path following the guy that says, hey, eventually I'm going to bring you out of this,
okay,
as opposed to just going down a continued path of suffering? Because that's a lot of times people misunderstand what Christ promised and what Christ is trying to give us by thinking that following Christ will automatically make your life on earth better. Not to say that he won't bless you, but the gift that he's given us is eternal life with him in heaven. When you start following Christ, you accept the fact and you live with the fact of where I'm at here now on earth, this is not my home forever.
okay, okay. That makes sense. All right. I'm trying to figure because again, like you told me, you only have an hour, so I'm trying to figure out what questions can I ask because I have a bunch of questions. I have to eliminate some. Just I could go for like a long
Man,
time,
you're
like
you're
just like
good. You're good. If we go a little bit over an hour, that's fine with me.
okay,
I
all
can
right.
make time for this sort of thing, especially.
So let me go ahead and also make sure that people understand where you. What arc are you at currently in One Piece?
So when I pick it back up after a short break, because I took a short break so I could read all of Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay, FMA. Okay, okay. All right, the
Yeah,
Elric
and
brothers. Okay,
I just finished volume 18, so I'm almost done with it. But when I pick it
okay.
back up, the next chapter I read will be the first chapter post time skip. So return. I'm about to go into Return to Sabaody.
You just got done with Marineford.
I just got done with
Okay.
Marineford.
Now you see, you get an idea of how big the world is and how underpowered everybody is. Like
Oh yeah,
Luffy. Yeah. Like Marineford was crazy. Now, with that going on, you have to tell me who's your favorite character so far in the whole series.
Nico
In the whole
Robin.
series.
Nico
Damn, that
Robin.
was quick. That was quick. I'm guessing she's also your favorite Straw Hat.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It
Okay.
was Sanji until Water 7 in his lobby.
Ah, why was it Sanji?
Why was it Sanji? I mean, overall, obviously, he has his writing quirks, we'll say.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah. Okay. Are you saying you
but I
relate?
mean, he's cool. He's just cool. He's a foodie. He loves to cook. As
Okay.
somebody who took Taekwondo a lot growing up too, I resonate with his
Ah,
kicks and his fighting
okay.
style. And I like the fact that he has such strong convictions in the way that he fights that the other Straw Hats don't have. As far as like, he won't fight with his hands. He refuses to fight with his hands because his hands are for cooking. And
Okay.
I just think it adds an extra layer on top of that. On top of that, when he gets introduced in Baratier, his relationship with Zeph really resonated with me, and he
Oh,
clicked for me immediately. And the fact that he will never let anyone go hungry, even if they are trying to take him down, he will not let them go hungry.
you say right now, due to Annie's lobby, your favorite character is Nico Robin. I am willing to bet money it'll go back to Sanji. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm willing to bet money it'll go back to Sanji. I assure you.
So, Sanji was my favorite Straw Hat for a
Okay.
while.
Okay.
My favorite character, pretty much from his introduction until Ennie's lobby, was Porcas Diaz.
It must have been really devastating.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, rest in peace. Oh, how did you feel about that?
Um, I thought so. I have mixed feelings overall. Like I get why he did what he did that led to that. I'll say you already said rest in peace, so that's out there.
Yeah.
But I felt like why he did what he did that led to him dying was noble. Him
A
standing
lot of
up for
people think
Whitebeard.
that was cheap, cause I mean he basically got rage baited.
I
Like they
think it was
sacrificed
I think
everything, you
it
know.
was a stupid move, but a noble move.
I agree, cause they did
And
sacrifice
I
everything to get him out there, you know.
exactly, and I love his and Luffy's
I
final
agree.
exchange. His and
Mm,
Luffy's final exchange broke me.
I think Ace. The thing is, I don't want to spoil anything, but you're going to uncover more about certain people. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, and this might
Okay.
make you like Ace even more again. So your love for
Okay.
Ace is not just here; it's gonna get to here. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, but dang man, there's so much you are not ready for. Actually, what do you think of the emperors? Because up until now, you've been hearing about the emperors of the sea, and then you see your first emperor, Whitebeard. What do you think of him?
Yeah. Well, no, because Shanks was an emperor.
I mean, yeah, you do see him, but you saw him before he became an emperor.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, even in Post Nenny's lobby when him and Whitebeard were talking, he wasn't an emperor then.
Then he was an emperor. By then he was an emperor.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So having seen two emperors, then
Yeah.
um,
Now you see
they're
like
insane.
how big, like how like like Luffy is like I want
They're
to be
they're
king of the
insane.
pirates. You know.
And I thought the warlords were something else. I thought the warlords were something else.
Yeah.
But the emperors are next level.
I'm going
Are
to give
next
you.
level.
I'm going to
Whitebeard
give you
in
this like idea.
Marineford.
Yeah. Whitebeard was really powerful. The thing is, the king of the pirate is supposed to be stronger than the emperors, and that's how strong Whitebeard is. So like that's where Luffy is aiming for. That's why when at Marineford when he said I'm gonna be king of the pirates, everybody looked at him like, you like you know who you're talking to? Like,
And you could
man.
argue from a different kind of strength too that Shanks is almost Whitebeard level.
Thank you so much, Just Eat Cake, for the gifted memberships. Appreciate it. But Wait. What was the statement you just said? Hold on. Say it
I
again.
said from a different type of strength.
Okay.
Because if you
Those are
because
fighting words.
Whitebeard had the physical strength.
Okay, so
But
let me make sure I heard you right. You said Shanks is almost Whitebeard level. Those are fighting words. People will fight you if they hear you say that.
Shanks showed up to Marineford and ended that war with a sentence.
Say it again! Yes! Say it again! Oh!
On
Anyways.
top of that, post Denny's lobby, his hockey took out Whitebeard's entire crew that was on that ship with it.
When I say it, they hate me. When
How
I
do
say
people not
it,
see it?
when I say it, they hate on me. When I say it, they hate on me. All I'm saying, look, the agenda piece will come to your doorstep. I'm just warning you.
Oh, I'm
It
ready.
will come at you for you, this man. So do you know about the agenda?
I do know about the agenda, and I know a lot of times agenda piece has specifically targeted one of my recent favorite characters that I
Mm-hmm.
discovered, uh,
Who?
Trafalgar Law,
Oh yeah.
and I've not gotten to his backstory yet that everyone's saying he
ah.
made up, but I
Mm.
know that's coming soon.
Yes. So I the thing is, we're still not clear. Again, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but we're not clear about whether or not he made it up because there is a like a light novel, sort of like a side book that came out recently
Yeah,
about his backstory, and it's not in the main story, so I won't even tell you what's in it. But it's just this it doesn't necessarily add up completely with everything we're told originally. So that's why people think he made it up. I'm sure Oda is gonna clear it up eventually, but that's the only reason. Other than that, though, I don't think he actually made it up.
the way I see it,
How you
unless
know?
Oda says it's in the canon, it's not in the canon.
Oh, you are saying fighting words. You're saying fighting words. Okay, there are
It's
people
his,
who
it's
read this
his
story.
world, and we're just experiencing it.
There are people who read this story. This is how crazy it is. There are people who read this story and say, "Well, I don't think we can trust what Oda is saying." I'm like, you know, he's the one writing the story, right? Like,
I've
but
seen
yes,
that.
yeah, no, it's a real thing. You think I'm
I know.
people? They don't think his words are a reliable source. And I could see why they would say that to an extent because certain things like, for example, bounties. Like, okay, let me go ahead and paint to you like a regular civilian in One Piece. A regular
Mhm.
civilian in One Piece heard about this weird stretchy man in the East Blue who's like 15 years old go out there and stop a warlord, by the way, and also defeated Buggy the Clown and also took over Arlong Park, and then they're out here being a terrorist in Marineford. To them, Luffy is a genius. To them, he's a criminal mastermind. So to
Yeah.
the average person, his bounty is well deserved, if not more. What we see is a goofball that barely knows what he's doing. But to them, nah, this guy's a criminal mind. He needs to be stopped immediately. So maybe Oda's words need to be taken sometimes with a grain of salt because he makes like Luffy to the average One Piece citizen is a evil person, and to us we get the bigger picture. Yeah, but I still think Oda knows what he's doing, and if he says that certain characters are stronger than certain characters, maybe we should just take it for what it is. But some people just get really mad at it. So right now
No,
at where
that's
you're
that's
at,
fair.
right now at where you're at, I'm gonna make you do the one thing that I know a lot of people are gonna hate. You are at Marineford. At Marineford, with everybody you've seen, Marines included, who do you think is the strongest character that you've seen so far? In the entire series so far, at Marineford.
Hmm. Now, see, at Marineford specifically, there are a lot of different factors to take into account when it comes to strength.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Because
There
while
was the
I
world's
think there
strongest
are
swordsman
people,
there. There was Shanks there. There was Whitebeard there. There was the admirals there. There was Garp there. There was Sengoku. Who's
Sengoku,
the
yeah,
strongest?
I'm, man. Okay, are we talking about during Marineford
During
or
Marineford.
after the? Okay,
Yeah.
during the entirety of Marineford, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Blackbeard.
I was not a what? Really? Blackbeard was the strongest character?
Once he got Whitebeard's fruit,
Oh wow. Whitebeard was the strongest character at Marineford.
once Blackbeard got Whitebeard's fruit, he became a next level threat.
He did become a next level threat, I agree, but the strongest character
That's
at
why I asked for
Marineford?
during the entirety of Marineford because that
Ah.
happened in Marineford.
Right. All I'm gonna
Now,
say is
if we're asking overall, then I
yeah.
would say Whitebeard because nobody else is withstanding what he withstood.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. Now, look.
So,
A
so
lot of
I
people
will
in the
say
comments,
Whitebeard as a whole, Blackbeard on a technicality.
a lot of people on the YouTube are saying they agree with you because your logic does not have any fallacy to it. It makes sense. Your logic makes sense. Now, obviously, there are certain things that you will learn that will change your mind slightly, not necessarily completely, slightly change your mind. But a lot of people do agree with you that you do have very good points. Right now, they're saying very good point. That you do have very good point with that. Now, another thing I also want to go ahead and state, dude, there's so many things I want to discuss with you, man. You enjoy One Piece as a book, and the Bible, the Christianity is your life. A
Hmm.
lot of people say that there's obviously like some things that are. Would you say there's any similarities, so to speak? Would you say there's things that because you're a Christian, it makes you enjoy One Piece more? Like, is there any like bridge for you, so to speak?
So I think there are a few. Um, I've had people say that Luffy in the One Piece world kind of serves a similar role that Christ does to a Christian's life in the sense of showing up in the midst of their darkness and freeing them.
Okay.
I also think that when it comes to, Christians gathering together, not leaving them during times of trouble, which is how it should be. I know it isn't how it always is. Christians are imperfect people. That's not an excuse, but it's how it is. I think what the Straw Hats did for Robin at Enies Lobby shows how Christians should be there for each other,
Even in the midst of oppressive governments.
especially.
Oh wow. Okay.
Especially. It's it's one of those things where the Bible calls us, the Bible says that there is no greater honor for a man than to lay down his life for a friend.
Fair. Okay. Dang. Okay. Deep quotes out here, man. Yeah.
And yeah, the Bible also calls us to love like Jesus loved. And I
That's
mean,
true.
you want to talk about, oppressive governments when Jesus was alive, the Roman Empire was in full swing.
That is.
Or at
Ooh.
the very
That's
least the
true.
Roman Republic.
Yeah.
Rome was the power. On
It
top of
was.
that, you had the Pharisees, which were the religious order of the day that Jesus butted heads with constantly. So, people, anybody out there that has a problem with religious people,
Jesus
you
did
are
too.
not
He
alone.
did.
Jesus had a problem with religious people too.
Yeah.
And so you could argue that Jesus showed who he was and who he is the most in the midst of oppressive power or in the face of oppressive powers.
Dang. That's. You have a very strong. Nah. You're right. You're 100% right. Oh my gosh.
Now,
Okay.
we also need to be clear on what oppression is, though, especially from a Christian's perspective.
Okay. Now
Because
I'm listening. Okay. All right.
In America, people might not like Christians, but I wouldn't consider American Christians oppressed, especially because I know missionaries and know missionaries personally that have served in
Mm-hmm.
countries where Christians are actually oppressed. I think a lot of
Okay.
people, especially Christians, like to paint Christianity as this American centric religion when it's not. It's a world religion. In fact, the first places it spread were to uh,
Africa and Europe.
South Asia, Africa.
Yeah. Actually, before it came to Europe, it went to South Asia. It did with South Asia before Europe.
Yeah,
It didn't come to Europe until like very late, actually.
it. I don't think it came really to Europe. Now, the Apostle Paul did go to Rome
Right,
multiple
right.
times.
Through Turkey and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And if we go based on today's geography, that is Europe,
Right.
but it's very Eastern Europe.
And we
So
know
yeah, no,
that we know, it also
it was
spread further
active.
east because several times it talked about how Solomon would interact with the people of the east, the wise men of the east. So we know Christianity did spread east side too. It wasn't just
Yeah,
So yeah, it came to Europe very late. Yeah, definitely very late. But yeah, so
because a lot
that's
of
why I
people
don't
didn't
agree
know
when
that
people say it's a
land
white man's
existed either.
religion. Say it again.
I was gonna say a lot of people didn't know that that land existed either. But if you
Yeah,
really want to go deep into it, it was a it was a Middle Eastern man and a black man's religion before it was ever a white man's religion.
that is true. That is true. 100% true. Yes, yes. Okay, so to give you a bit of my backstory, because I don't want to just like make you feel like you're being targeted with a bunch of questions. I'm gonna give you like a slight spark notes of my backstory, and if you have any questions, you can ask them. So I go by truth. That's what a lot of people call me by. It's because of an oath I made to myself to always say the truth, even if it hurts people, even if it hurts me. Always say the truth, and that's the best way to live life. So I go by truth, so I can remind myself every day. I was born and raised in West Africa. So I came from like dirt poor, dirt poor. You know the people you see on TV where they say like donate to this kid and that was me. I was like dirt like I came from the very bottom. And I had no father in my life. There was just a lot of things going on. I came from the very bottom, and I lived in a I lived during a civil war. The country I was in had a civil war, and they would constantly even try to recruit children as soldiers. So that was a fear that I also had as a kid. So imagine being a kid and living with that idea. So I never really liked government growing up necessarily. Another thing too is before even I became a Christian, I was very well aware of the evil of the world because the place I was in, despite the fact that it was a Muslim country, they still had a lot of voodoo and stuff like that. So I lived in a day and time where my own classmates would get sacrificed to local idol gods, and people just nobody did anything. The police didn't do anything, and it was that's the world I lived in. And I very well knew very early that this is evil. My friends are getting unalived. Bad things are happening. The government is having a civil war. Kids are using guns and shooting each other. A lot of these horrible things were happening. Obviously, my mom would try her very best to take care of me as a single woman in a third world country and all that stuff. Luckily, I made it out. We eventually were lucky enough to come to the United States. I didn't come to the United States until like I was a teenager, but a lot of my vision of life was this is a very dark place. So then I would see people walking around talking about this man named Jesus Christ and how he's supposed to be like this really good thing and this really cool stuff. And before I was like, I don't know, these whole gods things seem kind of horrible because people are sacrificing to gods. And they said, oh no, you just have to pray. I was like, what? I don't have to I'm good. Like, yeah, no, in fact you get eternal life. I was like, what? Really? So it sounded like a good deal. It sounded like I didn't have really much of an option. And then I came to the United States. And then I realized, like, well, in the United States, I don't have to worry about all this evil. Really, not really. I think there is still voodoo being done here, just not very well televised. But the thing is, it made me not want to necessarily be a Christian because I had nothing to fear. If you're not
Mm-hmm.
struggling, you don't have any reason to appreciate the good in life. So it's like, well, I'm not
Yeah.
going against voodoo and everything, so I'm not really worried about anything. Do I really need to be a Christian? It wasn't until I went through like several turmoils in my life, it got to even a point where I had to go to jail. Like several horrible things had to happen. I was like, yeah, I think I need to call this man named Jesus again. Like, hey, Jesus, we met a long time ago. Let's run this back again. Because like I don't like where my life is going. But yeah. So eventually I did like give my life to Christ and stuff. But it was a lot growing up. So when I read about this story called One Piece, I was like, I can relate to a lot of these characters. Woo! It's like these characters went like
Yeah.
these like horrible child upbringing. It's like so I relate to One Piece in a very like close way, and there's certain things I can't say because it's spoilers. There's certain characters like went through almost exactly what I went through, but yeah, that's my backstory in a nutshell. So there you go, guys. I don't really tell people much.
Dude, that's powerful, man, and praise God that you and your mom were able to make it over here.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
that's and that brings up another reason too why, you know, Jesus Christ is the one that I chose to follow, is because how many other faiths are there out there where rather than, people being sacrificed to God, God sacrificed himself so that we could live long, so that we could live.
Right.
It completely flips every religious um, ritual that has ever been done on its head.
Mm.
And it's like, okay, no, like this God, this creator of the entire universe,
Right.
who placed the stars in the sky by hand, is saying, I love you enough that I'm going to reduce myself down to what you are, and then
Humans.
I'm
Yeah.
going to die so you don't have to.
That's that was such a huge thing when I read about that. When I, because I read the Bible very differently than a lot of people did. Most people try to
Mhm.
read like a novel or like a book. When I was reading the Bible, a lot of things people like they'll see like the idea of the devil and all these things, and they also like it seems so like fantasy esque. I lived this stuff, so I saw the Bible as like, okay, cool, this is just some guy telling me exactly what happened, you know. So a lot of people like expect the Bible to be historically specific. That's not what it's for. It's an account on not just philosophy, on people's lives. There are some historical accuracies to it that have been proven several times, and you're learning about these people that were real people. They had real issues. We saw David cheat on his best friend. Like these people had real issues, and they still said, I'm going to give my life to Christ. Like people expect like the Bible to be this kumbaya religion. It's struggles. It's a never-ending story. This is the way I like to summarize it. A never-ending story about a humanity that always fails and a God that forever will keep trying to be with them. It's a love story. And
Yeah.
I really wish most people would see that. But yes, that's what I love talking about, Christianity and One Piece. Those are like my two favorite things to talk about. So it's really fun that I met you.
Well, and it's not only that too. It's like it's the ultimate. I mean, it is, but like it's the ultimate love story, because it's
Hmm.
like, okay, as people, we betrayed God.
Right.
We cheated on God, essentially. And when Jesus came and took all of that on himself, it was basically him saying, like, you know, I'm perfect, you're not, but that's okay, because my grace is cleaning all of that every time.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take that rag that I just cleaned you with and throw it away and forget it ever existed.
Yeah.
Because that's what God does. When you repent, he takes your sins and he casts them into the sea of forgetfulness. So he forgets about them.
Mm.
That's the thing. We always hold ourselves accountable. We always remember it. He forgets about it,
Yeah, that's true. That's
because
true.
he's like, what I did was enough. All
Yeah,
you
that
all
is a
you
very
got to
good point.
do is follow me and tell other people about me so that they can have what I gave you.
I have a
When,
question
when
now.
people don't abuse Christianity, it's on it. It's
Hmm.
it's one of the most selfless things that's ever existed.
That is true. Yeah.
It is the most selfless thing that's ever existed when people don't abuse it, or when people
Yeah.
don't misinterpret it.
Yes. Very good point. The question I have, I'm going to I'm going to ask two questions. First question is
Go
going
for
to
it.
be, who is your favorite character in the Bible? And then the second question is going to be, out of every single pirate crews you've seen in One Piece. You've seen the Blackbeard pirates, the Straw Hat pirates, the Whitebeard pirates, red haired pirates, all of them. Out of every pirate crew, whose pirate crew do you see yourself fitting into? And who's your favorite character in the Bible?
Okay, so as far as my favorite character in the Bible, man, that's tough because I see myself in so many of them. You know, I see myself
Mine is 100% David.
I was gonna say I see
100%
myself a lot in David. I see myself a lot in Peter. I see myself a lot. I've seen myself a lot in Job before. You know, it's one of those things. The first one that comes to mind is Job.
That's a tough one. Okay.
It is Job because he is, you know, the ultimate. You know, since this is a you know, a Christianity and a manga
Yeah.
centered stream. If I had to compare Job to any manga character that I've read, I would have to say Guts.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Berserk. Yeah.
I would have
Oh
to say
my
Guts
gosh.
because Job is the ultimate struggler in the Bible. You know, it was one of those things where everything happened to him but death.
Yeah.
And even his wife said, "Hey, just go ahead and curse God and die." And Job was like, "No." Job was like, "No, because there's more for me beyond this."
That's true. Yeah.
And as far as my favorite pirate crew and where I would see myself, it's tough between the Straw Hats and the Whitebeard pirates. The Straw
The
Hats just
Whitebeard pirates. Okay.
the Straw Hats for the vibes,
Of course.
quite
of
frankly,
course.
for the
course.
vibes. And you know, Sanji's cooking ain't a bad deal either.
That I can't argue with that. Yeah, he is a good cook.
And on top of that, you know, any pirate crew with Nico Robin is one that I'm going to be interested in joining.
Yeah.
But the Whitebeard Pirates, I like the way that Newgate structured the Whitebeard Pirates, where he was like, "No,
Okay.
I'm not your captain. I'm your father. Like we are a
Oh, okay.
family." To the point where he even asked Ace before both of them died. He said, "Were you happy to have me as your father?" That's what he was concerned about.
Okay.
That's what he was concerned about, and he not only did that, but he set Ace up to be the king of the pirates. So you know he's thinking beyond himself. I believe that's why him and Luffy hit it off immediately the way they did.
Okay.
Because Luffy, especially at this point, if Luffy had to choose between not becoming king of the pirates with his crew and becoming king of the pirates with someone else's crew, I think he would let go of his dream for his crew.
You think Luffy would let go of his dream for his crew?
I do,
Ooh,
but,
okay. All
but
right.
that is an extreme hypothetical because his crew would never ask him to.
Right. That's
His crew would never ask him to. They would give up on their dreams for him to be king of the pirates.
Oh, you're not. The thing is, you're saying. All I'm saying is, what you're saying, it feels like you went a little further than Marine Ford, but I know you haven't gone.
I didn't.
Yeah, you're saying some things that may or may not have happened. That's all I'm gonna say.
I see it in Zoro especially. You know, Zoro said he would never lose again. But I think if it came down to it where the strategic thing was, oh, I have to lose this fight for Luffy to go further,
Okay,
I think he would consider that a win.
that's true. That's true. Wow.
Because if his captain wins, he goes further.
That I can't. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. That's a very good point. I think if I could be in any, I already said my favorite character is David, only because I relate to David in the sense as David enjoyed a challenge, and I love challenges. I challenge myself
Oh
all the
yeah.
time. But the thing is, David was he as many times as he was like so close to God, he was so imperfect. And man, I struggle with
Hmm.
sin and a lot of other things. And you know, like I still try to be after God's own heart. So that's the first. That's the reason I love David so much. The other thing, which pirate crew I would be in? It's between the red-haired pirates and
Ooh, yep.
I'm not going to lie. I don't think I would be against being in the Blackbeard Pirates. I don't think I'll be against it necessarily. I, there's another pirate crew I want to say that's my number one pick, but I cannot tell you because it's a spoiler. There's a pirate that's my number one pick. Yes, it's one of the
Okay.
emperors. I just cannot tell you because you haven't
One of
met
the
the emperors
emperors.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just
So it's my thing with the Blackbeard pirates. I couldn't deal with Teach. I could not deal with Teach.
yeah, yeah,
I
and a
would
lot of
I
them.
would I would get through maybe one of those little and I would be overboard. I would jump overboard.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'd eat a devil fruit and then jump overboard.
Oh, oh, that bad. Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, like you've heard
But no,
Whitebeard's
man,
laugh. What
David,
about his laugh?
he's
Oh,
Whitebeard, so he gets a pass. He's Whitebeard, so he gets a pass.
okay, okay.
Now,
Fair enough.
I will say, I could deal with Teach before I could deal with Gecko Moria. I would join the Blackbeard Pirates before I join the Thriller Bark Pirates.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I would not want to be in Gecko Moria's crew. Yeah. Later on
Now,
you.
as far as David goes, you know why he was still after God's own heart even after he sinned all that much, don't you?
Mm, tell me.
It's because he knew how to repent.
Ah.
He knew how to take his imperfections and still reconcile with God.
Huh.
And ultimately, even with those imperfections, if you notice, yes, he sinned, but then he turned away from it.
Oh wow. Okay, that's a very good point. Okay. Okay. If
And honestly, that kind of makes him the ultimate role model in that regard because
that is true. That is true.
you know
Yeah.
everybody's gonna sin. You know, the Bible isn't a manual to teach us not to sin. It's to show us where we turn to after we do.
Mmm. Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. Okay. Wow, this is impressive. Okay, okay. So you are part of the book talk community. I hear a lot of people say
Yes.
the term like book talk girlies and stuff like that, but you're a guy. You're part. What does it feel being in a very female dominated space? Yeah.
It's not unusual for me. I
Okay.
grew up in a family where I was surrounded by probably 85-90% women.
Okay.
You know, my dad traveled for work a lot. I had no siblings. Um, my parents only had sisters, and my
Oh
grandfather's
boy.
passed away when I was young. So it's one of those things where,
Yeah.
and on top of that, I was the last male born into my family on both sides for the first 11 years of my life.
Oh my god.
There was not a male born after me for 11 years on either
Thanksgiving
side of
must
my
have been
family.
the worst. Oh my gosh. Oh man.
And so I'll kind of give you a little bit of a journey here. Book Talk is actually my most recent niche that I've kind of gotten into. So I
Okay.
started out on the American Comic Talk, uh, talking about like Marvel and DC and
Ooh, we gotta talk
Invincible,
about
and
that in a
it's a
little bit.
huge one for me.
Ooh, I gotta
Then
talk
I
to you
got
about
onto the
that.
manga side, and then I started reading Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere, got really into that,
Okay.
and then joined the Book Talk side of things. And
Okay.
so, Comic Talk, there's a lot of stuff going on Comic Talk that I don't necessarily want to be a part of.
Especially on the TikTok side. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so I'm still there, but I'm kind of in the middle between book talk and manga talk right now,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm serving as a bridge for both communities, and I'm almost serving as like not to prop myself up or anything, not at all, but I do feel like I've almost served as kind of like an ambassador for book talk's manga journey
Ah, yeah, yeah, I could see that.
because I've been in both spaces for a while.
There is a
And so as
guy
far as
on
being in
the
like a female dominated space,
yeah.
it's nothing I'm not used to, and I'm just happy to finally have something where I can contribute to book talk rather than book talk contributing to me.
Right, that's a good point. Somebody on the on the YouTube side of things is making fun of you. They're typing in the chat, "Say ha 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 ha," just to get to you. It's just funny. But yeah,
Listen,
no.
man, listen. My vocal stems just full of One Piece laughs.
Mm. Oh,
Just
oh.
full of One Piece laughs.
We gave the book talk girlies a new nickname. They want me to tell you about the nickname. We call them the Ohara girlies. You get the reference, right? Ohara.
Oh, I absolutely get the
Yeah, yeah. We
reference.
call them the Ohara girlies. Yeah. So you would be one of the
I,
Ohara
I
guys. Yeah.
commented on that video where you said that. I'm like,
Yeah.
we really got in real life O'Hara before GTA
I
6.
saw that comment. Yes, that was you. Oh my god. I know who you are now. That was okay. All right. Yeah, I read every single comment, but yeah, yeah. So the Ohara girlies, we really did get that. Yeah. Now about comic books. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a comic book nerd. Like I just today I just got done reading One World Under Doom, best ending to a Doom story I've ever read. By the way, I've been
Ooh,
reading
okay, I gotta
Absolute
catch up.
Comics, like Absolute DC, with everything going on in DC Comics, especially with DC KO, one of the best things going on right now. I'm also reading the I stopped reading X-Men because I got really pissed. House of X was one of the best things to ever come out, and then they had Ten of Swords, and then they Fall of X. Really, you're gonna just ruin everything. And then there's stuff going on with
Yeah.
like the future stuff. There's a lot of. I'm a huge comic book nerd, and like yeah, I saw you were trying to get into some Jeff Lemire stories, and I know you don't like Red Hood. I don't blame you. He pisses me off sometimes. He has no character development whatsoever.
None. None. And it's unfortunate too because I love the Bat family as a whole,
hmm
but they've not done right by him.
Yeah, it used to be the
Like
same
I'm
with
sorry.
Damien, but he recently got development.
Yeah. And I love Damien. I love Damien. He's probably my favorite Bat family character right after Nightwing.
Oh, okay. Uh,
And that's like I like those two more than I do Batman anymore.
who's your favorite character in DC?
In DC, Wally West.
Ooh, Wally West Rebirth or Wally West before New 52?
Before New 52.
Oh, so like Flash Wally West. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's yeah, that was a good Wally West. Okay. Mine is Wally West Rebirth. I like Wally West Rebirth more than I like before New 52.
Okay.
You're talking
And
about
then
like Justice League
Marvel-wise, I would
Unlimited Wally
say,
West.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marvel, I'm a Daredevil guy. I was kind of the Daredevil guy on TikTok
You
for
must
a
have
while. People
loved the
would me
TV
for,
show.
oh my gosh, yes. I loved Born Again. I think Born Again
Of
is
course.
misunderstood by a lot of
I think a
people.
lot of people hated it for no reason. It was more comic book accurate. I love Bone Again, yeah.
It was. It was.
My favorite character in DC is Superman, New 52 specifically Superman. That was the one everybody hated. That was my favorite. I liked
Interesting.
yeah. I can explain why, but like New 52 Superman specifically was my favorite Superman. That was actually the person who also introduced me to comic books. My favorites in Marvel for the longest time was Doctor Strange because it was so like fantastical, like all these journeys he would go in, and then like No More Magic, that storyline with like the death of
Yeah.
magic. I love that, but recently it became Doctor Doom, and then
Oh, Doctor
Valerio
Doom, next
Richards.
level.
Doom is so good.
Listen, other than Daredevil, Fantastic Four is my favorite book that Marvel has.
It's so good. Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
I love Jonathan
Yes.
Hickman so much. Yeah, but
Yes.
yeah,
I have everything that so in like the real big omnibuses, one of my library possessions is I've got everything he did at Marvel in those like oversized hardcover editions
Mm-hmm.
from the Secret Warriors run that he did with like Nick Fury and all them
Ooh, okay.
through Secret Wars.
Oh, okay, with Secret Avengers and everything, Avengers, New Avengers, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I've
Yeah,
got so it's Secret Warriors. I've got his Shield run that he did, Fantastic Four, Ultimates, Avengers, and Secret Wars.
yeah. I think he's also the same guy who did House of X, right? Jonathan Hickman. Yeah,
He
yeah.
did, he did, and
He's so good
when
at House
that
of X,
hardcover
dude.
gets reprinted, I'm picking it up. Even though I fell out of that Krakoa era so quick, like pretty
It
much as
just
soon as he left, I said, "All right, I'm going
that's
to."
exactly what happened. That because I don't know what everybody did. Like guys, just pick the ball up. It was the bright man. Yeah. Did you? Okay, I'm gonna. Somebody just brought up something I was gonna ask you. Funny enough, who is your favorite writer in DC? Somebody just mentioned Doomsday Clock with Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns is my number one favorite writer, but I have a number two.
So Jeff Johns is my favorite. However, he did not write my favorite DC comic run.
Okay, that's
So
true.
my favorite DC comic run, and I say this like I've read so many that the one I think about the most is the one I associate as being my favorite.
Okay.
And that would be Animal Man by Grant Morrison.
Grant Morrison. Okay, I love Grant Morrison. Oh my god, let me just. Oh, Grant Morrison. Oh, I love Grant Morrison. Okay, yeah, keep
The
going.
Animal Man run that Grant Morrison did is just utterly fantastic. It
Grant
will
Morrison is amazing.
alter your brain chemistry.
Ah,
But
dude, he
Jeff
is
Johns, I
such a
would say, is my favorite DC writer. Let me see. Let me look.
I have a second favorite, Scott Snyder. His Batman run is the one, hands down the best Batman run. The only other one that comes close is maybe I forgot his name, Dan something. Oh no, it starts with a Joe. I think it's Joe, not Dan. Um, the- it's right after Scott Snyder. I forgot his name. He
Oh,
handled
James Tynion.
James Tynion. He's my second favorite Batman writer, but Scott Snyder is my favorite Batman writer of all time. New 52 Batman is so good. I love it.
See, my favorite Batman writer I think that I've read is
Court of Owls, dude.
I think it might be Frank Miller.
Frank Miller. Okay, that's good. That's a good one.
Batman Year One I like a little bit more than Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, there's no I agree with you. I personally I don't like Dark Knight Returns.
I like it. I like it. I'm not the biggest fan of his art style. I think if you can read all of Dark Knight Returns, which I'm not saying you didn't, I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
I
No, I
think
did.
it
Yeah.
ends. I think it ends much stronger than it starts.
I don't hate it because of the story. The story is a good story. I hate it because of the fans and what the Batman v Superman movie did with it. That's what I hate about it. The fans will
fair.
take that story to the grave. I'm like, if you read the story, it wasn't Batman v Superman. It was Batman, Green Arrow, and several other people versus Superman and the government. It's a different
Yeah.
story, but a lot of I hated it for the fans. Not the story itself was beautiful. I just didn't like the fan from it. But yes, Frank Miller is such a good writer.
Oh, his Daredevil run is
Oh yes. Oh my gosh.
now.
Dude.
If we want to talk about my favorite American comic book of all time,
Okay.
let me grab it right here because it's sitting
Okay.
right beside me.
Invincible. The same
Invincible.
writer who did
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. Yeah. Ah, dude.
And then
Yes.
the TV show came out and it just took over.
Oh yeah, Invincible is really good. I you've read all of Invincible, right? I don't. Okay, guys, spoiler warning. But man, Thrag, yo, let me tell you something, man. When Thrag showed up, I was like, dude, Thrag versus Battle Beast is one of my favorite fights.
Oh
dude.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. That I know anime and manga get a lot of hype for their fights, more so than American comics and animation. That Thrag versus Battle Beast fight, I would put up
was so
against
good.
almost any anime fight.
Oh, it's so good. I hope it gets animated so well. People wanted to ask, have you read any of the Peach Momoko comics? I've read the Psylocke and the Magic tie-ins. That's it.
I haven't. No, her art style,
It
I
is a bit hard to
appreciate
get
it for
into.
covers. Her art style is
It's
a
hard
bit
to get
hard to get
into.
into.
Yeah, it took me a minute, dude. It's so hard to get into art style. I agree. Who's your favorite artist? For me, it's Jorge Jimenez, comic book artist. Jorge Jimenez, and a lot of people like Dan Mora. I like him. It feels too
Yeah.
basic.
My favorite is probably Ivan Reyes.
Ivan Reyes is really good. Another one. It starts with a P. He's a Hispanic artist. He did Teen Titans, I think. I forgot his name.
Oh, George Perez.
It's either no, it's not George Perez. There's somebody else. I said
Because
he did.
he's the one that did Teen Titans back in the day.
No, no, this is like a recent one.
Okay.
Let me
You
see.
talking about Pepe Larraz did X-Men.
Gabriel Piccolo. That's his name, Gabriel Piccolo.
Gabriel Piccolo.
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
I love his art style, but like he doesn't do adult characters. He does like younger characters. But yes,
Yeah. He did those
yeah,
Teen Titans graphic novels, which I still kind of want to check out.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. If you want to see like a slice of life Teen Titans, then yeah, I would recommend that. Ooh, who was? I think it was Jorge Jimenez. I fell in love with his art during Super Sons. Oh, dude,
Yes.
Super Sons is such a good comic book, dude. Oh,
I
dude,
I need to pick that up because I loved the Peter Tomasi Superman run. That
dude,
Superman
Peter
run
Tomasi,
was
he did such a good thing with Superman. Oh, man. But yes, I agree. Oh, dude, people actually know. Oh, The Runaways. Have you read The Runaways? The Runaways is a good read.
I haven't, despite the fact that I love Brian K. Vaughan. I've read
Really
all of Paper
interesting.
Girls. I've
Okay,
read all of Paper Girls.
Paper
I've
Girls is
read
good.
almost all of Saga,
Okay, Saga
and
is
then I've
so
got
okay. Nobody talks about that. Interesting.
well, because it's such a inconsistent release that there's not much to talk about
That's fair. That's fair.
really, other than people saying, "Hey, go read it because it's really good," and it's a beautiful story. It's just lost a lot of the hype because not much has happened with it.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Who would you say is your favorite in terms of art style? Who's your favorite Japanese comic manga art style, like manga artist?
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. As much
For
as I love Oda, I don't think he's quite at that level for me.
for me, I would say it's between the artist of Fairy Tail. I forgot his Hiro Mashima. I
Okay.
think that was his name. The writer of
Yeah.
Fairy Tail. He's a great artist. Between him and I want to say either Fire Force's artist. I forgot the name of the artist. The Fire Force artist. I forgot, but he's amazing. Food Wars. No, the artist of Food Wars is so good. Oh, I don't know if you,
Okay.
dude. I love that
Um,
art. It's such a good art. Yes, that's my favorite
I
artist.
love I love
Gachi Okuda also. I don't know if you've seen the art for
Dachi
Gachi
Kuda's
Okuda.
artist. I love
Amazing.
Tatsu, the artist for Dandadan.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Obviously Kentaro Miura, but I feel like he's
Of
just a
course.
cop out answer at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
Takehiko Inoue, Slam Dunk is a series I'm reading right now, and after that I plan to get into Vagabond.
I forgot the name of the artist. Gosh, people are gonna kill me for this. But the artist who draws JoJo's, dude, his knowledge of body anatomy is
Hirohiko Araki.
yes, dude.
I've
His
not
body
gotten into
anatomy
JoJo's.
is so good, dude. I've never seen anybody do body anatomy like he does.
Now, if we're talking about an artist that has such a distinct style that I can automatically tell it's their art by looking at it, I love Hiromuра Arakawa's art in Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay, yeah, that's distinct. Okay, fair enough.
Shinichi Sakamoto, who did
Ooh.
The Climber. I'm reading The Climber right now,
Okay, all right.
kind of as it's coming out. That's fantastic. And then obviously Makoto Yukimura, Vinland Saga is my favorite manga.
Vinland Saga has that edgy art. That's pretty good. That's that. Yeah.
It does. Honestly, if we were just going based on like landscapes and background art and things like that, Yukimura would take the cake.
I
I
can't
do
deny that.
like the way Inoue draws his characters a little bit better in
terms of
Slam Dunk and
characters,
Vagabond.
yeah. Okay, because it's then you would like Bleach, because Bleach is similar, not the same art style, but similar, like more adult art style, like Slam Dunk.
I've got all 3 box sets right over there. As
I
soon
knew
as
it.
I'm caught up to One Piece,
Yeah.
as soon as I'm caught up to One Piece, I'm starting Bleach.
Yeah, The Bleach art style is similar in terms of like adult-ish frames with like slam dunk. So
Yeah,
you would love that for sure. Yeah. Ah, dude. Another art style I really like is, I don't know if you read the Blue Lock, but it's easily top
I've
five
seen
manga
some of
of
the
all
art.
time. Yeah.
I've
It
seen some of the art.
quickly became one of my top five favorite mangas. But right now, I'm currently reading Gachiakuda. I'm still reading One Piece because it's still ongoing. So Gachiakuda,
Yeah,
One Piece, Blue Lock because it's still
gotcha.
ongoing,
Great.
and I finished Fire Force. Uh, I am. Hold up, let me show you this. So I have this book, the One Piece Sanji cookbook. I'm doing this for
Ah,
Thanksgiving. For Thanksgiving, I'm cooking some of the meals here. So that's gonna be fun.
dude, I'm about to move pretty soon, and I need that for my new house.
Dude, you're gonna love it, dude. The Sanji cookbook is so good.
I
Dude, it's
think
amazing.
as far as manga that I'm looking to get into, that from what I've seen has fantastic art.
Hmm.
One Punch Man. I've got some volumes of One Punch Man down there, and that art just blows my mind in the One Punch
Right.
Man manga. Chainsaw Man. I've seen everything that's been animated for Chainsaw Man so far, but I want to go back and read the manga
Okay. Okay. Chainsaw
just
Man.
because,
It was too graphic for me. It was unnecessarily graphic for me.
as much as they're like, and Chainsaw Man's a tough one for me, just because obviously as a Christian there are things in there that I do disagree with, but there are also
Right.
things that I think there are also things that I think are valuable too.
Mm.
Like I think if as a Christian approaching Denji's story as a cautionary tale is beautiful.
Ooh. Now I'm gonna ask you a deep question. So you're
Okay.
into anime where it talks about like several like they try to do edgy things like the Nine Tails demons with with Naruto, and like I'm not gonna spoil Bleach, but Bleach deals with like evil spirits and stuff, and then you have like the demons in Chainsaw Man. You have all these like things that sometimes, almost not all the time, sometimes almost like glorify these like evil entities. How do you wrestle with that as a Christian? Like some people say as a Christian you shouldn't watch anime, and like how do you wrestle with like the themes and like the morals, and like obviously there's some good things to learn from anime too, and then there's some bad.
Yeah.
Like how do you wrestle with that?
Well, first of all, I would ask the question: does it glorify it or does it just have it?
Okay. Okay.
Because that is why I'm able to read Berserk,
Right.
because Berserk does not glorify it at all. Berserk is one of those situations where it's like these things are evil, and we are going to show you just how evil they are.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
why
that's true.
something like Chainsaw Man I kind of wrestle with, because you got the whole Pochita thing, but at the same time, if you look at how these people came to have contracts with these devils, it's from a place of deep trauma and desperation. And that's
Mm.
something that I think, Christians and people in general need to be aware of sometimes, is in those moments of desperation where people find God, it could very easily go the other direction.
Right.
And so I think it's all about perspective. I think it's all about, you know, art is subjective. Art is up for interpretation, and I think
Mm-hmm.
people can get different things out of different stories. And I think if
Mm.
you, as a Christian, if you approach everything with God and with the Word of God in mind, not to say everything's okay, because it's not. If you have the Holy Spirit in your life, you should listen to its convictions.
Right.
But it does shift your perspective on things, and you're able to see things that you wouldn't have seen otherwise because of it.
That's true. Yeah. Hmm. Have you seen Jujutsu Kaisen?
I couldn't get into it. I
Okay.
watched a
Okay.
few episodes, and it felt like, and maybe it was only because I saw a few episodes. I saw the first few episodes. I've heard people tell
Okay.
me that the anime especially takes a little bit to kind of get going before it becomes the Jujutsu Kaisen that everybody knows.
Okay, I will say the manga is definitely a lot easier to get into than the anime. But I
Yeah.
used to be the biggest Jujutsu Kaisen fan. People are gonna hate me for this. Now that I've finished reading Jujutsu Kaisen twice, by the way, the writing sucks. Oh my gosh, dude.
Okay,
Um,
so the reason I dropped it after a few episodes is it felt watered down.
it's now okay. The one thing I will give it for, I have never seen any other writer do character development and character explanations as good as JJK. But in terms of like world building and everything else, the writing is so bad. But like, if you're reading it as a character dictionary, you will love it so much more. That's what I would tell people. You will
Okay,
enjoy the characters,
that's
but the
fair.
world sucks. The world sucks. The
That's
plot
fair. That's
the
fair.
plot is not even there
Honestly,
sometimes, but yeah.
what I got out of it is to me, JJ in my first experience trying
Yeah.
to watch JJK, it was what everybody claims MHA is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I could see that. Yeah. MHA I liked,
Because
but the fan
I
base
enjoy
annoyed me.
MHA.
Okay, okay.
I don't associate with the fan base. I just appreciate the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate the characters and the different archetypes that they fill. And that's another thing too with JJK. And the reason why I say it felt watered down is because Yuji felt watered down.
Oh, okay. Not a spoiler. It doesn't get fixed anytime soon. I will tell you that. Oh my gosh.
See,
Okay, the last
I'm
arc of the
very
manga,
much
that's where it gets fixed. The
so I'm
last
very
arc.
much a main character snob. If I cannot connect to your main character, I'm not going to connect to your
You
story.
will
You
connect
know
to
how I
every
said
character except Yuji. I'll tell you that. He,
you know how I said Vinland Saga was my favorite manga?
yeah.
Attack on Titan is my favorite anime.
Ooh,
Mainly
okay.
because I connected to Aaron at a deep level to where I don't agree with what he did, but I understand why he did what he did.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
he's not even my favorite character in the story, but I connected with him on such a level where it was like, if you weren't compelling, this whole story would have just been a bunch of nonsense that somebody
Hmm.
compiled to try to be deep. But because Aaron Yeager worked, it
Are
all
we
came
just
together.
cattles? Yeah, Aaron Yeager. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's my thing with JJK. Yuji's charismatic. Don't get me wrong. Yuji's definitely charismatic. He's a vibe, but is he main character worthy? And
Um.
that's why I say JJK is what everybody thinks MHA is because Deku is actually compelling. Izuku Midoriya is a
Later
compelling
on, though.
character.
Later on, he's not very compelling in the first arc.
I would say even okay, not the first arc, no, but
I think after
retrospectively,
we see All Might take down the Nomu, that's when you no. After All Might versus All for One, that's when Yuji not Yuji Deku becomes compelling to me because he gets the whole "you're next" thing. You know, that's where he gets compelling to me.
so to me, I started noticing it. I started noticing it during the sports festival.
Ooh, yes, actually, yeah, okay, I can agree with you on that. Okay,
And
yeah,
retrospectively, it made his season one journey worth it because we
it
see
did.
how he came from nothing to become the person that the most powerful people in his class look up to because of the sports festival.
Yeah.
And then you go to season three when he saves the kid during the training camp arc.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is he a little whiny? Yeah, sure. He's a teenage boy.
That's yeah. Yuji isn't whiny, but the thing is,
No.
I don't want to spoil JJK because I would say like JJK has some of the most brilliant fights I have ever seen in any story, and I will praise it for that brilliant
Okay.
fight, brilliant character dialogue, but the world building is not there. The power scaling, it's
See, I'm
don't
getting
give it
all
any
that
try.
from Demon Slayer right now.
Yeah, man. Demon Slayer's power scaling is non-existent, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because they tell you very quickly, oh, don't worry, the demons are a lot stronger. Nobody is stronger than the demons except you. I don't want to spoil anything. Have you seen the recent season? Okay, I'm not gonna spoil
No,
anything.
I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just now once Infinity Castle left theaters, because I knew I wasn't going to get to catch up while Infinity Castle was in theaters. But once
Mhm.
it left theaters and I knew it was going to be hitting Crunchyroll in the near distant future, I said,
Okay.
I'll catch up to Demon Slayer so that when Infinity
Okay.
Castle hits, I can watch it.
Okay, so then I won't spoil anything, but they very quickly tell you that yeah, the demons are like by a mile stronger than all of these guys, and this is my biggest issue with season 1 and season 2 of Demon Slayer. The anime, I don't know if you not the manga, if you ever read the manga, they make it very clear this is a tragedy. This is not an epic. This is a tragedy. These guys, every arc, they die. These are teenagers, they're not adults. These are teenagers, and there is a specific reveal you get in the latest season. I won't spoil it since you're not caught up, but it gets even more depressing. But when you first see the first season and the second season, you're like, wow, this is this epic, super choreographed thing. Like, it's not. This is a sad story. You know, it's an uphill battle.
Yeah. When I think you get a lot of that with One Piece too. Everybody thinks it's just a happy-go-lucky adventure story, but it's
Yeah,
really about finding freedom in a world that wants to keep it from you.
that's true.
And it's very much, it's an uphill battle too. With all these powerful characters and these powerful pirates,
All
all
going
of
for
them
the
are
same
fighting an
goal.
uphill battle.
Yeah.
Whitebeard himself was fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah. Right? Even Whitebeard is like, dang, like Luffy has a long way to go. Like
Yeah.
everybody knows, like everybody wants to become. This is not a spoiler. You saw this during Marineford. Everybody, a lot of people want to become Pirate King, but for different reasons. Like
Hmm.
we saw that Luffy had a lot of people competing with him during Sabaody when we saw like the supernovas. So
Yeah.
all these people were like, it's not just Luffy. Luffy is our main character, but somebody is out there reading One Piece from kids' perspective, Eustace Kid, or
Hmm.
I forgot the Draco. Gosh, I forgot Drake. I forgot his full name, but it's not just Luffy, you know, these other guys are like
Yeah.
trying to do the same thing, and then even the people ahead of him, some of the emperors are trying to become pirate kings, and even they're struggling. Like, yo,
Listen, if Oda ever decides it's like, hey, I ran out of ideas after One Piece, I'm just gonna do One Piece again from a different character's perspective.
it would work.
Give me Buggy's perspective.
Oh, okay, never mind. I don't care. You're a horrible person.
Give me Buggy's perspective.
Okay, you want to know why I would like Buggy's perspective? Because he feels like our version of a streamer. Because that's what he is. Like during Marineford, he was a streamer. He's like, hey guys,
He was.
hey guys, look, this is Whitebeard. Send gifts if you want me to fight Whitebeard, guy.
Listen. I
I
would
love
not be
Buggy.
above making that content either because I don't know if you ever saw this video, but I talked about before when I was watching Mob Psycho 100, which is another one of my favorite anime.
Okay.
How an actual plot point in season 2 was Reagan getting canceled by the internet.
Yes. 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 Oh my gosh. Oh man. Dude, I love it when like anime and manga and even like comic books like put like real world things in there to that extent. It's so good, dude. Oh
Oh,
my
dude,
gosh.
it's what is that saying? Art reflects life. Like
Yeah.
you can't truly convey something that you've. I won't say you can't convey something that you've not experienced, but there are going to be elements of things that you have experienced.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
might be this big exaggerated thing that isn't even possible, but there will be parts of something that you've experienced, even if
Okay.
it's very small.
I'm going to give you a thought process, and this can be the last thing before you have to leave.
Okay.
It's Buggy's thought process. Okay, Buggy has right now, other than Blackbeard, the most impressive One Piece resume. Buggy was a rival to Shanks at a very young age. Grew up
Yeah.
in the pirate ship of the King of the Seas,
The
by the
Pirate
way.
King. Yeah.
Okay, and then he took over a town at a young age. Buggy has one of the most impressive resume, and even after that, grew his crew, almost assassinated Luffy publicly, and then at Marineford, he was one of the biggest threat, and he has the one of the biggest fleet commands ever. During Impel Down, everybody was like, Buggy, Buggy. Like he has one of the most impressive resume. Like everybody thinks this
And
guy's
Mr.
amazing.
3 knew he was a fraud.
Yes. Oh
Listen to me,
man.
Buggy has one of the most impressive resumes totally by accident.
Yes.
You,
He would
you know
be
that
amazing.
you know that meme, that Rick and Morty meme where it's just like, I just keep pressing buttons and it keeps working.
Yes. Oh man, I love Buggy so much. Dude, all I'm gonna say is it gets better. I'm not gonna tell you what happened, but it gets better.
Dude, I'm already about to suggest that we have one of these conversations again after I'm caught up. Because
Oh, dude,
I'm
have
over
to.
halfway at this point.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
over
you're over
halfway.
halfway. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait, dude. I'm excited. We definitely have to. Oh my gosh. When you get to there's a specific arc. I'm not gonna say the name of the arc because even the name is a spoiler. But when you get to this arc, I'm gonna see when you get to the arc. I
Okay.
gotta discuss things with you. Oh my gosh.
Now,
But no.
what I will say, just because of the length of this arc, if this
Yeah.
is going to be a thing, we gotta have one. So we gotta have two
Okay.
between
Fine.
now and the time I'm caught up,
Okay.
and one of those
Perfect.
has to be before Wano.
I was gonna say Wano. I was gonna say during Wano is when I want to talk to you because Wano is my favorite arc of all time. Oh, oh, dude, I love Wano
And now,
so
see,
much.
I'm glad you didn't say the name of the arc, because I know Wano, while it's considered one arc, it's like split into different sub arcs because Wano's a country.
Okay, so
Like I've had things spoiled for me, but I only
I'm not gonna
consider them
spoil anything.
spoilers in context.
it doesn't become apparent until there's two arcs before Wano. Until those arcs that you notice how Oda writes things. Oda writes each arc in a different style. Like Eni's Lobby is written to be this tragedy. Marineford is written to be a war. Like if you ever read D-Day and stuff like that, it's very similar to Marineford. Wano
Oh my
is written
gosh.
to be a play, like a
Yeah.
theater Japanese
Okay.
play. That's why it's 4 parts, because there's 4 parts to a theater Japanese play. And like the different arcs, there's an arc that's written like a kid's storybook. I'm not gonna say the name of the arc. There's another arc
Okay.
that's written like a National Geography type of arc. But he writes each arc differently. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I know Impel Down. Impel Down had to be his take on the Divine Comedy.
Oh, dude, and also gosh, I forget this guy's name. Oh my gosh. He talks about hell. Oh, there's this art.
Yeah, Dante.
Dante. There we
Yeah.
go. Gosh,
So
Dante's Inferno.
Dante's
Yeah.
Inferno.
That was his version of Dante's
Purgatory, and
Inferno.
Paradise. That's
Yeah.
the Divine Comedy, where it talks
Yeah.
about like the 7 circles of hell.
Yeah, that was his version of it. Just Oda's
Yeah,
such a brilliant writer, man.
Dude, Impel Down might be one of the, like, just looking at it for what it is, because obviously everything in One Piece is gonna have like this goofy tone to it. Dude,
Right.
Impel Down is brutal.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Impel Down is brutal, and Marineford doesn't get any better. But if I had to choose like an arc to live through, I would rather live through Marineford than Impel Down.
Oh yeah, 100. At least Marineford, I am guaranteed to survive as a random Marine. God, they were getting like massacred, but as a random Marine, I'm guaranteed to survive.
Yeah.
Impel Down, there were no survivors. It was nah, but
Dude,
yes,
and your warden is a walking biohazard.
yes. Oh man, and his assistant is into like the worst BDSM ever. Oh my gosh, Shiryu of the Rain. Oh my god, and the other lady. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah,
Dude,
it
that
was
was
bad.
it was wild. It was absolutely wild.
We gotta
And
definitely
honestly,
discuss
too,
this more
shoot.
often.
Sabaody, one thing you mentioned that I wanted to comment on, but I didn't think about it. Talking about Luffy, do you remember in Sabaody when we first meet Rayleigh and Usopp
Oh yeah,
and Usopp asks him what the One Piece is, and
and he
Luffy
almost said it.
X him?
Yeah,
Yeah, Luffy, like
Rayleigh knows it.
screamed at
Rayleigh
Usopp.
knows. Yeah.
Yeah, Luffy didn't even scream at Usopp in Water 7.
Yes, that is true. You know about Crocus, right?
I do know about Crocus, and I know about
Okay.
Brook and Laboon.
Okay, so you know about what crew Crocus was in?
That was revealed in Sabaody, wasn't it?
Partly. Yes, partly was revealed. They tell you into more detail, but you very like it becomes very obvious during
I was gonna
Sabaody
say
and then more.
Crocus was on Roger's crew too, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, okay,
He
yeah.
was the
So that's
doctor.
the crew. I was gonna like Crocus also knows what a One Piece is. He could have told him. Yeah, like yeah, he knows what a One.
He
The
could have
only
probably
person
told him
who
where it
doesn't know.
was.
Yeah, the only two people who were on Roger's ship that don't know that we know of so far are Buggy and Shanks. I'm not gonna tell you why they don't know. I'm not gonna tell you why.
Well, I
but
would
they
say
don't
it was
know.
because they were too young and didn't have enough of a rank to really be involved in the whole
But they were on the
treasure
ship.
side of things.
All I'm gonna say, they were on
I
the ship.
know,
They
I
just don't
know.
know.
I
I'm not
just
gonna tell you why. But
no.
yeah.
Okay, they just don't know. I was gonna say, knowing what I know about Roger, I feel like he would have had to. I feel like he would have made him earn that privilege.
I don't want to spoil it.
earn
When you
that
find
right
out
to know.
why, you will find out
Okay.
why, and you'll be like, "What?" Yeah, nah. Yes. Oh, dude, there's so many things I can't wait till you catch up on, man.
Part of me thinks too, just theorizing. Part of me thinks Shanks is gonna find the One Piece and Luffy's gonna fight him for it.
Oh, I can't say anything. I'm not allowed to say anything. I'm not allowed
I
to
was
say
gonna say
anything.
part of me.
I'm not
Part of
allowed
me
to say
thinks
anything.
that they might find it at the same time. Luffy and Shanks are gonna meet in some way that is less than civil before the series ends.
It's almost inevitable. That's all I'm gonna say. It's almost inevitable
Yeah.
that they will meet in a less than civil way. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna tell you why, but it's almost inevitable.
But I also
yeah.
think that when Luffy inevitably becomes the Pirate King, that Shanks will be his biggest cheerleader.
Oh, I'm not gonna say, but yes, 100%, 100. Other than Bon Clay, Bon Clay would cheer him on from a mile. Oh, I love Bon Clay, but yes,
Bon Clay, man, do we? You know what? I won't ask because at this point we don't know if he survived Impel Down or not.
yeah, that's true.
We don't
That's
know
true.
if he survived Impel Down or not.
Yeah, man.
Because you know, number one rule of storytelling: nobody. If there's nobody, he's not dead.
That. Oh my gosh, I hate that rule, but that's true. I hate that rule,
But it's
that's
true because
Yeah.
the only ones we've seen so far are Ace and Whitebeard, and actually, I think that's it. Out of like the major players,
Mm,
I already know Sabo's not dead. That was too ambiguous.
how the freak? Someone had to have spoiled it for you.
It was
Allie, hi Allie.
so
Someone had to have spoiled it for you.
someone did spoil it for me, but even reading it, I'm like, that was too ambiguous.
Yeah,
His hat. That's too ambiguous.
yeah.
But
I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm gonna give you an Easter egg to look for.
okay,
In the coming arcs, the things you know about Zoro's backstory, reread them. Zoro's backstory is very important in the coming arcs. I'm like, you barely know anything about Zoro, but the things you do know, reread them. In the coming arcs, it's gonna be important. Yeah.
Okay, I definitely will. I know my next major arc is Fishman Island, so I will take any prayers that you might want to send my way.
Dude, you think
Especially as a Sanji fan, though. As a Sanji fan.
Fishman Island took okay. Fishman Island and Punk Hazard, those were hard arcs. But the hardest arc for me, I'm not gonna tell you what happens during the arc, but was Dressrosa. I started Dressrosa when I got into high school. I finished Dressrosa after I graduated high school. I was like, this arc is taking so long, dude. The pace it wasn't the manga that was the problem. It was the anime, because I wasn't reading the manga at
Okay.
the time. The anime pacing was so slow. It took 4.5 years to just finish. I was like,
Gosh.
yo. And then when we finally reached the end of Dressrosa, they tell us how long it was in real time in the world. Guess.
a week.
It's not even a spoiler how long it was.
I'm gonna say a week.
24 hours.
24.
They stretched
Listen,
it out on
and
4
people-
years,
and people
bro.
wonder, and people wonder why I say, and I say this having the manga as my first One Piece experience. So I didn't watch it. I started out reading, and then I tried watching the anime, and I was like, I said I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Now I'm gonna try the remake when it comes out from the studio, but I might have problems with that too. I might say this feels too rushed.
Yeah. The mangas had such great pacing, but I was watching the anime, I was like, this is taking so long. And when I finished the arc and they're like, oh, it's nighttime, I was like, wait, hold on. It's only been 24 hours and I spent 4 years of my life on this? Oh my.
It's
I was
like
so mad, bro.
It's like Interstellar. You know when they go to the planets in Interstellar where it's like, for however long you're on this planet, this much time passes on Earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro.
But don't watch Dressrosa, read it. Don't watch it. I made that mistake.
Oh, I only read One Piece at this point. I think I stopped watching the anime during Little Garden.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'm just like I don't like it.
It's taking
now. Had I saw the anime before I read the manga, it would be one of my favorite anime.
Oh yeah,
there's no doubt it would be one of my favorite anime. But the manga is so good that the anime feels like an inferior method of storytelling.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't want to take up much of your time. Dude, I really appreciate you for being like helping me out with this, man. This book talk and like One Piece has been amazing, dude. I gotta do this again with you.
This was a blast, man. Anytime you want to hop on and have a conversation, let me know. This was a blast, and I feel the same. Having One Piece and book talk.
We got to do it with comic books, with Christianity, several things, dude. I want to have several lives with you.
Dude, it feels like my worlds are colliding, man. And I absolutely, man. Just let me know, and we'll make it happen.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and end it here because I know you have a busy schedule. But yeah, thank you everybody. This has been Bryce's brain vomit. I hope you enjoyed him, and yeah. Do you have any last words to everybody who's watching you?
Yeah, I'm glad every one of you was here another day to be able to watch this. I thank God for that, even if I've never met you, and thank y'all for being a part of this with
Becky
me.
is here. Becky's here. Say hi to Becky. Hi, Becky. Hey, Becky. I just got done interviewing him.
One of my mutuals in here earlier, Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
He said hi a while ago, and I forgot to say hi back.
Wait, I do want to... Becky, if you're still in the comment section, I want you to... Because we came up with a One Piece nickname for Becky. We call her Becky the Evangelist. We're going to come up with one for you, Bryce. But yeah, I hope Becky... I want to know what she thinks about it. But anyways, yeah, go ahead with your last enough.
So, actually... little fun fact, and this is another reason why One Piece is one of my favorites. My middle initial is D.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you? Okay, we're gonna put a D in there, like Bryce D something. I don't know what we're gonna do. It's gonna be
my middle initial is D.
Oh, we're gonna do it now. Bryce D something. I don't know what we're gonna call you yet, but it's gonna be Bryce D something. Oh, they're gonna.
And not only that, that middle initial D is a generational thing in my family.
Okay, all right.
And so I read this. I'm like, what is Robin talking about with the Will of D? And I'm like, I know I've not gotten to it yet, but I know it's also a generational thing and like a family thing in some way.
It is, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I have that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm excited, man. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end things here, guys. Thank you so much for being here, man. It was an honor to honestly have you here. And I pray that God continues to bless you, man, and brings you a lot of good fortune, and His goodness and mercies follow you all the days of your life, man. I'm looking
absolutely truth. Same to you. You got something special cooking here, so I'm gonna be praying that
hey, thank you, man. I'm trying. Thank you.
Yeah, I was watching your videos on this One Piece book talk thing before we ever became mutuals. So it's
really that's embarrassing. That's like people
man,
watch me.
You were killing it. You actually, your videos actually introduced me to some of my other mutuals on here that I met through book talking One Piece, like Sarah.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I love.
Yeah,
We call her
yeah.
Sarah Sparrow now because of Jack Sparrow.
Sarah Sparrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right, man. I appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to this again, hopefully in the
All
near
right.
future.
Yep. You too, man. Stay safe, man.
See you guys.